Hey, you. Thanks for tapping into another episode of Untapped Keg. I am your host, RJ Zimmerman, and today I would like to talk to you about self-talk and a little bit of a background on me. I haven't drank for over 11 years. I'm a This Naked Mind certified alcohol-free life coach. I focus on self-discovery. I focus on emotions and feelings. Um, I quit drinking around 11 years ago, a little bit more than that. And the reason that I did was because I woke up in the morning, I looked in the mirror, and I realized my life was going nowhere. And if I wanted to start the career that I wanted, if I wanted to start a family, alcohol was not going to be a part of that. And so I made the decision at that moment to stop drinking. Um, that wasn't the moment that was the most important in my story, though. The most important moment of my story was 6 years later. Um, Started the job that I wanted, the career I wanted to build, high voltage line tech, was a foreman for a crew, running a crew. I was married, had two kids, enjoyed being a dad. Didn't really enjoy much else in my life, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I enjoyed my job sometimes, but not all the time. All right. I'm a dad, and they just needed me to do something real quick. Okay. You want to know what it was? Needed me to wipe his booty. Not gonna lie. That is what happened. So I'm at this moment in my life, and my then wife turns to me in the vehicle when we have our two kids and they're napping, says she wants a divorce. And I had two options again. I could continue going down the road that I was going, where there wasn't much going on that I enjoyed, or I could do something different, anything different. That looked like therapy, it looked like getting diagnosed with ADHD. It looked like starting this podcast. Fast forward 2 years, and I'm recording a podcast, and my kids get home, and I record a podcast, and my kids come home, and I'm having a low mental health day. I've been doing all this work on myself mentally, emotionally, and they come in the door and they come running in and they yell, "Daddy, I missed you. I love you." The first thought that went through my mind, and it was so quiet, I almost didn't catch it because I didn't catch it for the first 34 plus years of my life. Um, the first thought that came up was, how could you love such a piece of shit? What is wrong with you? And when I caught that and I recognized that I am holding it against my kids that they love their dad, this isn't okay. That was the first time that I heard the self-talk that was in there. I heard what was the first automatic thought that came to my mind. There's something I want you to understand when it comes to self-talk. Your first thought, your first five thoughts, the automatic ones that happen without you consciously thinking and bringing up these thoughts, the first, how many ever there are not yours. You don't have control over that. It's not you. It's been learned. It's what your brain thinks is going to keep you moving forward in life. But that is not you. And so I want you to know that. Now, when I looked in the mirror later in that day, because I knew that I didn't want that to be going through my mind, I'm holding against my kids that they love me. Who else in my life did I hold against the fact that they love me? A lot of people, it turns out. But I really didn't want to do that to my kids. So I'm looking in the mirror, and there's this imperceptible recoil, it's drawback. By imperceptible, I mean I had to be very focused and aware to notice it. And then I noticed, oh, I hate myself. When I'm seeing myself in the mirror, my first reaction is the same thing as when my kids tell me they love me. What a piece of shit. And so I had to find something different. In that moment, I recognized that I was not going to be able to say, "Hey, RJ, I love you. You're doing amazing. Look at everything you've done in your life. Look at all of the good things you've done. You deserve good things to happen to you. You're incredible. You're amazing." That was not going to happen. I fucking hated myself. Like, there is not a person that I hated more in this entire world than me. And I thought that going through life that way was healthy. I thought that it was helping me get to where I was going. I thought it was helping me be a better parent. It absolutely was not. It was not. It was keeping me like in this space of not thinking that I deserved good things. Of, I'm being completely honest here, being with somebody who I shouldn't have been with from the get-go. I had two kids with that person. Like, and these are things that I've been healing. It's still like coming up, but the people that I chose doesn't mean it was everybody, but there's something in there where the way that they treated me wasn't great. And I stuck around. I didn't just stick around. It made me stick around more. We can talk about that at a later time, but recognizing that that's what the cost was of me hating myself. Yes, I achieved some freaking awesome things and I did some really cool fucking stuff. I could have understood that to a deeper level and achieved the same shit if I didn't hate myself. I probably would have gotten it faster, to be honest. Now, there's some good things that came out of it. I get to talk to you about this and explain how I got from that place of hating myself, this moment of my kids running in and telling me they love me and me thinking, what the fuck is wrong with you? How can you love a piece of shit? I'm going to take it out on my kids and be a bad parent if I don't catch the way I'm talking to myself. There's a way to hold yourself to a standard and allow yourself to make mistakes and be human. And that's the very grounds of this self-talk is you get to be human. You get to make mistakes and you get to hold yourself to a standard so you're not just being a piece of shit. Because let me tell you, if you think you're a piece of shit, you're not a fucking piece of shit. And you're probably not being a piece of shit. Because if you think that you're a piece of shit, you have this awareness that you could possibly be doing better. You have this awareness of how you're coming off. Does it mean that you've done shitty things? Hell's yes, it does. You know why? Because you're human and we make mistakes and there's impulses and there's things that we don't know were going to come from what we did. We can't see every single consequence is going to happen. That doesn't make you a shitty person. And this goes to how I turned my self-talk around. It was not going to be going to self-love. It wasn't even self-friend, wasn't self-like. I can tell you that right now. It was me looking in the mirror. Okay, I can't do self-love, can't do self-like, can't do self-friend. This shit doesn't work for me. What am I going to do that's going to start raising the level that I look at myself with? And I was like, I know I'm not a bad person. I don't know if I'm a good person. I would say no. I can say I'm just okay. So every time I looked in the mirror, I would shrug my shoulder and say, "You're okay." I'd say it out loud. Ex-wife would be like, "Who you talking to?" Huh, no one. Me. And every time I looked in the mirror, I did that. Here's where I took it a little bit further. I would berate myself. Say I cooked a meal and it didn't turn out perfect. I would berate myself. You wasted food. What are you doing? Like, how bad of a cook are you? Like, this took forever. Look at all the dishes that you got dirty, right? I'd be like, no, it's okay. I'm okay. I would take those were automatic. I had no control. What I did have control over was the direction I was going to take them. Am I going to allow those to take over? Or am I going to interrupt it with something else? And it was just, you're okay. You're okay. And that's what I want you to do is notice when you're berating yourself, when you're tearing yourself down. Nobody's going to be harder on me than I am on myself. Guess what? That can still be true, but you don't have to be a fucking dickhead about it. You don't have to be such an asshole that you are afraid to move. I want you to understand that. Now, you can be hard on yourself. Hey, we could do better than this. Guess what? This food turned out like crap. Now we know why. It's not like you've been a fucking chef for years. You're learning. You're learning and that's okay. Now you know what you could do different next time, or just stay away from this recipe because you ain't got it. Maybe in a few years you could try it again, and that's okay. But taking that and making it be, it's about the recipe. It's not about me and who I am. This is what the essence of this is. It's not going straight to self-love. It's not going to self-like. It's not being a friend to yourself. It's being neutral. It's being okay. It's being fine with where things are. That is the essence. That is the foothold. That's the beginning. When you notice I'm saying I'm stupid, change it out to that wasn't a smart decision or that was stupid. I am to that was because that's the truth. You're making the story up that because I did this, I am stupid. Am I really stupid? No. Right? Like drop a bowl. You can laugh at yourself and say, "Oh, that was silly." Or you could say, "God, you're such a fucking klutz. What's wrong with you?" Which one feels better? Laughing and being, even if you could say, "God damn it, that sucks." Right? Not, "God damn it, I suck," but that sucks. Because that does suck. Did you mean to trip? No, you probably had a lot of stuff going on in your mind in that moment that you didn't notice that that step was there and boom, hit it. You just take the time to notice what is going on inside of you, what's going on up here. Like just become aware of the way you're saying things. Break it apart from the identity statements, the I am, that was, right? Those keep you in a place of small. They keep you in a place of self-hatred, self-loathing. They keep you in a place of you can't get better at anything. Change to externalize those external things, the things that happen, those outcomes, the things you can't control. That was just it's not always going to be perfect like from the I am to that was. But if you can break it out to that outcome, I wish that that didn't happen. And it did, right? And I have to deal with it. And that's okay. I'm going to be okay. I'm all right. When you can start to recognize those moments that you can shift from that I am statement to that was statement. Now you're taking your power back and you're being real with yourself. It's so transformative. This one thing is so transformative. Now you can take things and you can break out what is the story I'm telling myself to what is the truth of what happened, right? The story is that I am bad. The truth is what I did was bad. Those identity statements versus the behavioral. You get to change. You get to learn. You get to understand something isn't working out. And then eventually, when you move through that neutral and you're able to, your first thoughts get to that neutrality. And it's not like it's always going to be the first thoughts, but if you notice that you're starting to have first thoughts that are neutrality, you can start to morph it into a coach and start to talk to yourself the way that a coach would, a good coach, not a Bobby Knight coach, a good coach like Coach K. hold you to a standard, right? Hold you to a standard and hey, this is what we can do better next time. It didn't work out this time. That's okay. Give yourself the space for growth. Try to remove judgments, that judging language. Like you should have known what was going to happen. And you can do this when you go back and you think about things that you don't necessarily like how they turned out, or you're like, I made this decision, it was completely wrong. Okay. But can you look at it and give yourself the moment of, yeah, I made that decision. That outcome sucked, right? It wasn't, I should have known better. It wasn't, I'm so stupid. It wasn't, such a piece of shit. That outcome was not what I wanted. And these are the reasons that I made this decision. And I can understand why I made that decision based on those reasons. If I see those reasons again, I need to just stop because I might not have everything to make that decision. Or if I see those reasons again, make that decision again. Maybe it didn't work out last time. Maybe it will this time. Right. But you got to know the difference and you got to figure it out. And you're only going to be able to figure it out if you're able to break apart your identity from what happened. If you can't break apart your identity, you're not gonna be able to change shit. You're not gonna be able to change any of it. You're gonna be where you are. And this is something that when you start to notice it and you start to work through it and you get to a point where you're able to substitute things, it's gonna happen quicker and quicker. But it's also something that when you get a little bit lax on it, those automatic thoughts might come in again, and that's okay. Just gotta, you know what you have to do. You have the tools. You have what you need to be able to move through it and journal on it if you need to. Take the time. Give yourself a moment to write down what it is that's going through your mind and then think, is this actually true? Is this who I am? Or am I talking about the outcome? Am I talking about something external from me? Am I putting my internal self-worth, my internal identity onto this that should be external from an external outcome? Is coming internal? Is that what I'm doing? Because if that's what I'm doing, I need to break that shit apart. That's that flag. That's that red flag. Write down the way that you talk to yourself during the day. Just how do I talk to myself in the morning? How do I talk to myself at lunch? How do I talk to myself at night when I'm about to go to bed? Is it the same? Am I harsher as the day goes on? Am I nicer as the day goes on? You find these things out about yourself and you can start to see that pattern as more happens during the day. And the way that I am able to show up in self-awareness starts to go down. That's when I get harsher to myself. Oh, my automatic turn is, I wonder where that comes from. You don't even, and honestly, you don't have to explore where it comes from if you don't want to. It can be helpful, but you don't have to. You don't have to know where something comes from to change the trajectory of where you're going. You don't have to know where something comes from to say, I don't really like this, right? Like, just look at food. You don't have to know where something comes from to realize that you don't really like the taste of olives. So let's either hide them in the food that you can't really taste it, or not have it in your food at all. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can give yourself some play. And then if you're being really hard on yourself, here's something that's deeper, deeper trick that you can learn. If you're really hard on yourself and you're noticing it and you're flipping it, you can look in there and see, what are you trying to protect me from? What is it you're trying to protect me from? Like when I was really hard on myself, most of the time I was trying to protect myself from failure. Most of the time I'm trying to protect myself from rejection. However, the way that my internal mind, my ego, right, that took it and made it was in a way that I would fail. I would feel the rejection because I wouldn't even try. I would just keep myself in this place, in this small little area. I still do it. I still do it. I notice it. I'm like, can I just like get a break, please? Because it does take a lot of energy. Just something a little bit different, please. Like it's fucking asinine that I continue to have to be top of mind about this and run through it. There's something you can do in your journal and you can ask yourself some questions, right? What is the negative thought that's coming up? Ask yourself, is it helpful? Is it true? Can I make it kind? Is it helpful? Is it true? And it can be somewhat true, right? Like there's some truth in me being a piece of shit. I did some shitty things as a kid, as a teenager, when I got fucking drunk. I did some shitty things. Doesn't make me a shitty person. So was it true? Yeah, there's some truth to it. My mind could recall every single time that I hurt somebody's feelings, every single time that I was a shitty person, and I freaking saw it, right? Because that's what your mind wants to do is confirmation bias. This is how I think that I am. I remember all these memories from third grade when I deleted Abby's fucking and Abby and God, was it Michelle's uh book that they were writing off the computer because I thought it was funny, even though it wasn't. I don't know why I thought it was funny. I don't know. I obviously I wanted attention. I don't know. That was a piece of shit thing to do. And I remember we had to, oh, I think it was Aaron's. See, like this is how my mind goes. And then, we had to type it up. We had to sit there before typing classes, type everything back into the computer they had written. And man, what a shitty thing to do, right? What a shitty kid. What an asshole. But was that my entire third grade experience? No. Is that who I am now? No. That's what my mind would bring up every once in a while. When I thought that I was such a piece of shit. So take those questions. Is it helpful? Is it true? And it can be true, but is it true most of the time? What is the truth in it? Can I make it kind? Let me tell you, kind does not mean that you let yourself get away with doing things that aren't a part of your values, aren't acting in a way that you know you should be acting. That is not kind. Kind is challenging. Kind is, yes, I didn't know. However, I should do a better job of making sure that people are seen, felt, and understood, right? I should do a better job of that. I didn't know that what I was doing was not doing that, but I can do better with it. And so I can notice these things in that moment, right? I didn't know that I hooked that transformer up wrong. I thought I hooked it up correctly, but I should have checked on there and double checked everyone. knew that things were going in the right direction. I should have double checked the voltage on it. Next time I will. Next time I'll double check that. Just those things are like, yeah, next time I'll have another chance at it. I will have another chance. Whether it's the exact same situation or not, I will have another chance. That's okay. I got something really exciting that I really want to be able to provide, and that's these smaller bite-sized courses. So I have a 5-day self-discovery course that is available. If you go to untappedkeg.com/toolkit, you can get it. It's $20. And it'll give you 5 days. It's emailed right to you. You get PDFs, you get a workbook and a lesson. And each day is something for you to work on. And you don't have to do it in 5 days. You can do it in 30. You can do it in over the course of, 5 months, one of these a month. But what it's going to do is it's going to walk through what we talked about with self-talk. It's going to walk through with self-honesty. It's going to walk you through emotions. It's bite-sized pieces. It's low barrier to entry, $20, and see if there's something there that can give you a start on this journey. Just give you something that allows you to move from just surviving and existing and going through life to really enjoying the life that you're living. You're actually living the life that you always wanted to. So that is untappedkeg.com/toolkit if you're interested. And again, it's $20. So I'll be posting more that are at about that price point. 5-day, 30-day courses. They'll be self-guided so that you can do them on your own time. You will be able to reach out to me and ask questions. And then I also have the first and third Monday of each month, 8 p.m. Eastern time, I have a free group coaching call. We have a topic that we talk about, but then we can, if you have anything that you want to bring, please bring it. And we will go over what it is that you would like to go over. If you want to be coached, if you just want to talk about something, if you just want to vent, that is available. So if you go to untappedkeg.com, you can find the link to sign up for that meeting. I would love to hear what you think about when it comes to self-talk. Hit me up, untappedkeg.com. There is a comment section. Let me know what you think about self-talk and if there's anything that I can include that would deepen your understanding and give you even more to be able to work through where you are. So I look forward to hearing from you. Let's try to be better tomorrow than we were today, because at least we don't make it, we tried. I love you. Have a great week.